All right. Welcome to the weekly real estate talk show with Raul Luna. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, for connecting here today. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, congratulations. All right. Make sure that you're at a place where you're completely focused, that you can dedicate this space, to your, not only personal development growth, but as well as to getting wiser and savvier in real estate investing. Today, we're going to be covering something very powerful, okay? And I mean powerful because I'm going to share 5 things, 5 steps that I do in real estate investing that has, immensely helped out, and how to do it in a fearlessly way. Because I know that, especially, whether you're new or whether you're experienced, we're always discovering new paths and new ways, and usually fear starts to get into the way, especially when the market is changing, right? And when I mean changing, the market is always changing, or I should say, the buyers and sellers sentiment is changing the time. But there's times that are really you just don't know which direction, and I feel that right now, as the market has expanded for so long, and it's been a long time now, and it's interesting because we haven't seen it, and then I have, so it's interesting to see, right? But the 5 steps that I'm going to be sharing with you is precisely the ones that I've been not only living, but at the same time that I would, pass on to you guys, and just understand this, okay? Knowing is very powerful when it is combined with action. So, how is it that people, even on uncertain times, they actually get to, thrive in markets that, are really uncertain? And, I want to go with step number 1, which, it's how to eliminate the fear. And what I mean by fearlessly is, like, there's always going to be fear, okay? You may not going to eliminate it 100%, but you can dramatically reduce it. And it doesn't matter what it is. You could be, starting to invest into bigger deals, and there's going to be fear. So remember this: when you're starting to grow and you're starting to go into new paths that you've never been, then fear is going to want to kick in, okay? When you're in growth mode, fear is going to want to kick in. When you've, even when you've done it, and the market is uncertain, fear is going to want to kick in. And fear is good. Fear is a good thing. So don't think that it's not. It's a good thing because it makes you aware. It makes you cautious. It makes you obviously understand. So how do you do it in a fearlessly way then? Well, very simple. Step number 1 is you need to have the knowledge. You need to acquire the necessary knowledge. You need to acquire, the know-how of things. And I'm not talking about information. So picture this, okay, for a moment. The more you know, the more confident you feel. The more confident you feel, usually the fear tends to get reduced. The less you know, the less confident you feel. The less confident you feel, the more uncertain, and the less action, the more fear kicks in. So it's basic principles, right? Step number 1, get the knowledge. How do you get the knowledge? I've gotten the knowledge through books, through events, through experts, through classes, through courses, through webinars, through mentorship, even through, newsletter subscriptions, and many other ways. But that's just a few ways on how I've actually gathered the knowledge. For instance, right now, one of the things, that I can pass on what is it that I'm doing. You gotta buy right. You got to be, underwriting the deals with at least, with understanding that the market is, you don't know which direction is going. I underwrite them with my formula of 70%. 70% of the ARV Mine is repairs when it's something that I'm going to, flip. In some areas that's way too aggressive, way too low, and I understand that. But you know what? Based on my almost 2 decades in experience, after being bankrupt, once, I understand loud and clear that if I don't pay attention to those little factors, then, we're not learning, we're not growing, right? So pay attention to that. How I got the knowledge? Well, through my own mistakes, but at the same time, through, watching closely from mentorship on what is it that they're doing, all right? So very important to understand that aspect, okay? Now, that's step number one. Step number two, okay? Step number two is take consistent, massive action. And massive may not be right out of the gate, and that's okay. But start being consistent. Start taking action consistently. Because one of the things that I notice is, if you're not consistently, submitting offers, or consistently meeting real estate agent, or consistently searching for deals, how do you expect to know? How do you expect to know the area, know the market, know the deals? How do you expect for that to happen, right? So it's very important. Simply start taking action, consistent action, I should say. And then once you've managed to control the emotion of taking consistent, action, then at that time, I'm going to suggest to go massive. Okay, to go massive. And massive, consistent, simple to, I should say, it's very simple said, but it's very difficult to do. And I get it, but it shouldn't be no excuse whatsoever. Okay, so that's step number two. Give me and then step number three. Okay, step number three. Okay, how is it now? Keep this in mind. I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to go ahead and give you some perspective. In order to reduce fear and to be fearlessly, action actually makes fear, look very small. Because it takes me back to when, literally takes me back to when I was learning how to, and until today, I can't tell you that I'm a professional or anything by no means, but I remember the very first times that I went, on a pool, and I was fearful about it. I didn't know how to swim, especially when they were telling me that, I could go on my back and I wasn't going to I wasn't going to sink. I couldn't handle it. My fear was bigger than obviously giving it a shot. So, and the same thing happens with many things, but guess what? The action made me understand that yes, I could float, that yes, I wasn't going to sink. But until I took action, I wasn't able to reduce that, or I wasn't able to reduce the fear until I actually experienced it. All right. So understand that. And I want to take a quick moment here to also share with you, give me a moment. All right. All right. Can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, let me know. Okay, beautiful. Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually going to turn my camera on here. Hopefully you can see me. May not be 100% clear there, but, we're going to do our best to get connected. I was basically just trying to make sure that we can get some video on here, right? So give me a moment here. All right, I think we got some great lighting now. Awesome. All right. Anyways, so let's get back to it. So just it's very important to understand, right? And when I mean knowledge, don't confuse it with information. When I mean action and the things that I'm going to be sharing here today, don't confuse it with information, because oftentimes you go to Google and let me tell you, if information was the solution, you could go to Google and Google will solve everybody's problem. It will solve, you know, the alcoholism problem, the, you know, a crime problem. It'll solve any problem, right? But that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we know that it's not an information problem. It's really a knowledge and an action situation problem. How do you basically go fearlessly? Make sure that you know that you got the knowledge. Number two, make sure that you have, you know, that you're taking action consistently. And number three that I want to share, it's make sure that if you don't want to, if you want to be fearlessly, make partnerships. Partner with other people that have the experience, that has the knowledge, that has obviously what you don't have. And I've said it, you know, in the past over and over. I believe in partnerships. Not every partnership is going to be a great partnership, but I can tell you one thing: partnerships are needed, you know, specifically if, you know, if you want to, you know, if you want to thrive in a very major way. All right. So understand that. I do it obviously by partnering with others. You know, you want to make sure what is it that you're bringing to the table. And what I like to do is usually I get a piece of paper, I actually draw a vertical line and I put the things that I bring to the table and the things that the other party is bringing to the table. And I'll give you some examples. For example, you know, you may be bringing the deal and the negotiations, you know, to the table, while the other person is, you know, maybe bringing the money, the credit, maybe bringing the experience and the constructions and things like that. That's another way how to invest fearlessly. Guess why? How do I get bigger deals? You know, bigger deals get done in a partnership format, and it's interesting because that will eliminate fear as well, or I shouldn't say eliminate it, but that should put, you know, fear to a side, because now you got other people that are going to be, you know, working with you. Give you an example, okay? We got a property in San Francisco that we just partner with. You know, we signed documents yesterday, and it's interesting because we just partnered with a developer who's been developing like shopping centers in the Fremont, California area. And before we partnered, he asked me a ton of questions from the construction side, from the finance side, from all over the place. And I love it because not only he's bringing money, you know, he's bringing experience, you know, and I love, you know, that type of partnership because he's bringing money and he's bringing experience. Now, don't confuse experience with years of repetition. And let me explain what is the difference. There's people that when you ask them, hey, how long have you been in real estate? And they'll tell you, oh, I got 10 years experience. And when you come to realize, you know, they're confusing experience, which to me, experience is growth, okay? Is growth. If you're not growing every single year or every single month, you don't have experience. What you have is 1 year repeated 10 times, which gives you 10 years, but not 10 years of experience. It's really just that you got 1 year repeated over 10 years, which people confuse it with experience, right? So anyways, you know, partnerships is going to obviously help you invest fearlessly. Why? Because you have a stronger output or outcome if you know how to partner up, if you know how to select your partnership right. And I'm not saying that every time you partner with someone, it's going to be the absolute super stellar partnership. Okay. Now, I believe in partnership. That's why I partner with others, all right? So, and I love it because at the end of the day, we get to know each other. And guess what? If it goes extremely well, we get to do it again and again and again. And that partner, you know, usually adds strength, especially if you know their weaknesses and their strengths as well. So you should know your own weaknesses and strengths, and you should know your partner's weaknesses and strengths so that you know if it's a right fit or not, all right? And weaknesses, by the way, is not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing because that's when you know, hey, if you're good at negotiating, as an example, let's just say, you know, you're good at negotiating and you're good at bringing deals, and your partner is good at negotiating and bringing deals. Well, you know, usually it's not as common as two drivers getting together. It's not as common. Usually they will try to be competition of each other, which is, sort of kind of dumb, but nevertheless, it helps out. But at the end of the day, if you're good on this area, but bad on other areas, your partner may be good in the areas that you're bad, and that actually, fits really, really well. So it's very important to understand, all right? That's how you can invest fearlessly, because you're creating partnerships where your weaknesses now becomes a strength because you got somebody who's actually fulfilling that aspect, right? Step number 4 is belief, internal belief, and the way I explain belief, it's an internal paradigm. It's an energy that you don't see, but it's an energy that you get to live. It's an energy that you get to expand, or it's an energy that it gets contracted, depending on how aware you are and if that muscle is being worked every single day. And, would you believe that there's people doing extremely well in real estate? And if the answer is yes, now the second question for you is, can you do extremely well in real estate investing yourself? Do you believe that? Do you believe that you can do amazing things in real estate, and that you can acquire the lifestyle, that you can, create the empire, that you can, do you believe you can have the freedom, the lifestyle, that you can have whatever is it that you have set your mind to, to do or to believe? And see, believe, it's something that very few times, gets actually spoken or talked about or even lived. So understand that the way I actually work and exercise my muscle of belief, it's through repetition. I gotta repeat over and over and over and over again, because it is, it is through repetition of things, of the correct things, of the right thoughts, of the right emotions, of the right feelings, that you're going to create an internal change, an internal switch that basically gives you the belief, gives you the self-image, gives you the certainty, gives you, the confidence of knowing that you're a person that is worthy of a great, of a great life, that is worthy of a great outcome. And guess what? That you're going to have to work, my friend. Understand that belief works. It has a big thing, and I can say it simply, but it takes work. I work with it every day, and I have a phrase that I tell myself that goes something like this: I'm so happy and grateful now that sellers, agents, brokers, investors, wholesaler, other friends, student, colleagues, and friends are calling me, wanting to sell their property or wanting to partner up with me. And we help them and make it so simple by buying it all cash and just make it in a very seamless way. And that's a phrase, comes out natural, isn't it? Why? Because I repeat it in my morning routines. Because when I meditate, I'm repeating it. You don't have to believe what I'm sharing right now. I'm not asking you to believe. All I'm saying is I'm sharing the steps that I do in order to thrive in real estate investing fearlessly. And guess what? By your thoughts, by your feelings, by your beliefs, by your actions, you will attract what you deserve. You will attract what you deserve. If you are attracting the wrong things, is because is no one's responsibility other than the person that gets to see on the mirror every single day. So, don't blame the market. It is absolutely not the market, my friend. It is the way we think, feel, believe. And I can say this over and over and over and over again. I have a phrase that I get to repeat over and over. I prefer to see the greatness in things than the negativity in things. And be careful. I'm not suggesting, and I'm not saying that when I'm underwriting a deal, I don't see the negatives. Of course, I'm going to see the drawbacks. I'm going to see the downside of it. Of course, I'm going to have eyes to it. But I don't let negativity, decades ago, I will let it to infect me, to, basically take over, the way I would believe of myself. So anyways, step number 4 is belief, okay? Now, step number 5 is the law of association. it's understanding the law of association. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand this, okay? The environment, okay, that you're involved consistently, okay, is what determines your outcomes, okay? The environment that you're involved consistently is what determines your outcomes. What is the environment that you get to basically live in, day out? What is it that basically, are you attending events? This year alone, we've probably attended, 8, 10 different events. And I'm talking events where I don't speak, events that I don't teach, events that I humble myself and go out there to learn, to see people that are playing at an extreme, higher, 10 times or more higher level than I am. Are you doing the same? Are you reading books? Are you consistently, getting together with bigger, bigger driven players out there that are believing much bigger, much faster, and that they got results to be proven results? It's not just anybody, ladies and gentlemen. Any meeting will get you anywhere, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to go anywhere. You want to know that you are in a circle of influencers that are true influencers because they got merits of results. So that's why I want to congratulate you for you being here to be here tonight, because I can tell you one thing, this tells me a lot, because I know that you want to be in the right environment. I know you want to grow. I know that the 5 steps that I just shared with you, and I'm just going to revise them once again, and then I'm going to enter into questions and answers. So understand, step number 1 is getting the knowledge, okay? Step number 2, taking consistent action. Step number 3 is creating great partnerships. Step number 4 is developing a consistent and never-ending belief. Developing a consistent and never-ending belief. And number 5 is living the law of association. Who you hang out with consistently will have a tremendous effect. And the law of association, says basically that, that I can predict your future. Tell me who you hang out with, and I can predict your future, honestly. This is no joke. And that's why it is crucial and important. You don't want to hang out with people that are negative, that are always telling you what's going on with the news. And I mean negative things, negative things where you don't have things, you can't control certain things in life. You just can't. But you can control the ones that you can control, and the ones that you should control are the ones that you should obviously make sure that you're responsible of. Okay, like your thinking, like your emotions, like your results, like the way you believe, the way you actually come across with others. So the law of association says basically that whatever your environment is who you're going to become sooner or later. So pay attention to what that environment is in a very consistent way. All right. And I want to make some few announcements, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, we're having our meetup this week, actually tomorrow, and you are absolutely invited. If you're near, 3 or 4 hours in the vicinity of the San Mateo, California area, do not miss it, because you're going to learn from, no other than a young lady who literally went from being an employee to now being a full-time investor, from being a newbie to now doing deals over $200,000 per deal in the Bay Area. And you're going to get to learn from her, and you're going to learn from how she got started and how is it that you can implement it into your business as well, right? The second thing, if you're serious and you haven't obviously, and you don't have yet the freaking awesome real estate recording event, go to the following website. Go to levelupnow.com. levelupnowacademy.com/FAD, F as in Frank, A as in Apple, D as in Delta, and make sure that you grab yourself a copy before it actually goes up in price. Okay, so go to levelupnowacademy.com/FAD. And I'm going to post it here in a moment. Give me a quick second here. And this is where you can still get it. And I'm assuming, let me make sure that I'm giving you the absolute latest news. You can still get it at a amazing discount, all right? It was a 2-day event. that shows you obviously from A to Z on how is it that we invest in real estate, the deep details about it, all right? And pay close attention. I got students that have been crushing it in a very amazing way. You know, some of you may be even connected into this webinar here tonight. So just go ahead and grab it if you haven't grabbed it, you know, and let's go ahead and get started into questions and answers. So if you got questions, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time. So let me know. Okay, I have read this book several times. It's really a great book, Believe in Yourself by Joseph Murphy. Excellent. I'm finally going into the correct direction, my belief. Yep, Ms. Larry, yeah, absolutely. I like, there's another great book of, I think from the same author, The Power of the Subconscious Mind or something like that. Very powerful, you know, and guess what? If you don't work in yourself, if 90% of the time you're not working in you, you're missing it. And you may be thinking, Raul is full of crap, and that's fine. I don't, you know, I work more in the way I think, because it's by thinking and acting, is by thinking, acting, feeling, is by those energy that you don't see is how you attract. And guess what? You want to attract greatness, you got to be greatness. You want to attract wealth, you must be wealthy. If you want to attract whatever you want to attract great, phenomenal, awesome people, well, you got to be one first. You got to be one first. How you believe is how you're going to attract when you put this consistent action towards it, all right? So powerful. Next question says, how's the best way to get in touch of you or some deals? Ms. Larry, text if you got my direct number. Now, keep in mind that if I don't answer right away, it's because I got a whole bunch of things. You know, I may answer right away, unless it's a true emergency, unless you're telling me, Raul, it's under contract, it's a $500,000 profit, you got to pay attention, then I may at that point will drop almost, you know, anything and everything, and I'm going to say, wait a minute, I got to cancel that appointment. But if it's not that, picture this, just so that you guys can understand, you know, right now, finishing this, I'm about to, you know, enter into a training in actually 2 minutes. I got to enter into a training in 2-3 minutes. You know, it's a company training. That's about 30 minutes. And then I do a Facebook Live in the Spanish Academy. And then from there, I got to do a dinner, a corporate dinner for Properties 180 at 6:30. And then I may finish in a couple of hours that. So, you know, I'm really back to back. So when the best way, it's going to be email and text. You know, that's the best way. Now, unless, like I'm saying, like I'm truly less, is like a deal that, you know, Raul, I need it now, then I will pay attention, provided that I'm not, you know, in a meeting that I'm either speaking or things like that, right? So powerful. Yes, that book is excellent too. The name of the book is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Yep, that's a powerful one. Now, keep in mind, more than being busy, you got to be productive. You know, I did the busy thing in my first decade, not anymore. Today, I got to be efficient. And what I mean efficient is like every minute really, truly, honestly count. And you know, when you're careful with your task, you will understand why of the results. When you're careful with your task, you will understand why of the results, right? So anyways, any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any other questions? The secret, absolutely. Although the secret is superficial, I like it, but it's very honestly superficial. I think the book of The Power of Subconscious Mind is a phenomenal book. It'll blow your mind away, right? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see no more questions. That tells me that everybody either got it really, really well, and I want to congratulate you for it, okay? And now, Mr. Giangelo, it's there, is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, right? Anyways, congratulations. You know, congratulations. It was a tremendous honor and a pleasure being here with you guys. Thank you for connecting on a weekly basis. And we get to see you hopefully tomorrow. I get to see you. So do not miss tomorrow's meetup event. All right. So I'll see you there. I see you in different, you know, events and on the next Wednesday webinar. Congratulations. Have a phenomenal one. So get to see you later. Thank you.